Welcome to New Way Health Podcast, where we dive into hot topics in the health and wellness space and we leave you with simple ways to bring them into your life. Today, we're going to talk about how to build a healthy salad perfect for summertime. And we're actually going to give you a five-part formula. All right. I'm Jennifer, and this is Emily. We're board certified and functional medicine certified health coaches, along with specialties like hormone health, genetic testing, functional detoxing, and so much more. So I have to say, Emily, I'm like really excited that you suggested this topic, perfect for July as we're at the time we're recording this. But I just want to fess up for just a second. Is that okay?
Yes.
And you listening, whoever's listening, like you may relate to this, is when I was back in my corporate job, I would pack my lunch a lot. I was working in Boston and I would take the train in, pack my lunch, and I know salads were supposed to be good for me, right? This is before I decided to do what I'm doing now. And I would just like build this salad, and it was so sad looking. It was like I would just put stuff on it. It really wasn't very satisfying. At that time, like protein wasn't the thing, so it didn't really have much protein in there either. And it was just not exciting, so I wasn't satisfied with this. So, just out of the gate here, how do we actually up level that salad before we go into our five-part formula? Can you share a couple ideas with us?
Oh my gosh, I say make it colorful,
Yeah.
right? Make
Mine
it
was not colorful.
colorful.
It was,
And we're talking about like eating the rainbow, right? Optimizing a meal that we're supposed to be eating, but we're supposed to be getting all of these fruits and vegetables in throughout our day. Why not optimize that lunchtime and including all of those colors to, get those phytonutrients that we're longing for in that salad?
yes. I love that you mentioned color right off the bat because if you're familiar with color therapy as well, just the sight of colors bring out different emotional responses and feelings. So that alone is exciting, but then of course we get this multitude of, phytonutrients or plant nutrients from each different type of color. So now I know so much more. And when I build the salad now, I wish I had a before picture because you would really laugh at this. But if you're listening, you probably are laughing with me here because you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like such a sad salad. And so we want to make these really super salads where you're actually getting so much energy from them. It's reducing your cravings and it's helping you with better digestion, which I think everyone can use a little bit of that. All right,
Yeah.
so let's get into our salad formula. Does that sound good?
Yes.
All right, we want to, of course, hit all the macros. So, what would be number one? Do you want to introduce that, Emily?
Yes, we can talk about the macros of greens, right? The fibers, our base, right? When we think about building a salad, what's our base? What's our arugula, spinach, romaine, even some cabbage, purple cabbage, or whatever cabbage you like, adding
Yeah.
that base. You can even add some herbs,
Mhm.
basil, some mint, or dill or sprouts,
Yeah, I love sprouts.
broccoli sprouts, right? Adding that green base is a great way to start.
Yeah. And I'll add on to that, like the microgreens now, if you're not
Mm.
familiar with them, like the microgreens of broccoli, and that's really actually anti-cancer, anti-tumor, so that's a really good one. I particularly like the greens of radish sprouts. So those are sprouts. So radish sprouts has that little bit of a bite to it, and I love that. And
Yeah.
then, like for me, the crunch, when you say crunch, because of course we have our base of greens, but I do like a little bit of red cabbage, just a little bit,
Me
not too
too.
much, and it needs to be sliced thin. So that's my little thing that I love.
Do you call it red cabbage or purple?
Oh, I think it is supposed to be. That's a good point. It's probably purple cabbage, right?
I
I don't know
don't
the answer. We should ask ChatGPT about that.
know. It's purple, but why do we call it red? I don't know.
I
I don't know.
don't
But
know.
when I think of that color, when we look at the phytonutrient sheet and we think of purple, we think of blood vessels, right? Lowering our blood pressure, longevity. If you want to change, if you care about longevity, think about purples. And so that's why I always add in the red cabbage to my
Yes.
salad also.
Purple red cabbage.
Purple red
Call
cabbage.
it
That's
what you
what
want. It's good for you.
so
But
good.
yeah, and like think about blueberries, they're, anything that color. is just fighting oxidative stress. So really antioxidant. So I love that. All right, what's number two, Emily? I think this is a yours.
Protein,
Protein, yay.
animal protein.
It's an all-star right now. Like it's talked about a lot, right?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So what ideas?
Chicken, shrimp, tofu, boiled eggs is my favorite.
Hmm.
Salmon, even lentils, right? Think about the plant protein. It could be chickpeas, hemp hearts. Um,
Yeah,
what else? Oh,
great
beef. Don't
ideas.
forget about beef,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yep.
adding turkey, real turkey, like a whole turkey and pulling it apart and adding turkey to your salad. The protein is really great to add onto a salad.
Yeah. And honestly, like this is back in the day when like fat free was the thing to do. Like it's crazy how much we've learned in nutrition science. And I know I didn't have enough protein, back then in when I was making these sad salads. So now I have fun with the protein. And sometimes I'll even do a couple, like I'll do a little bit of leftover salmon
Mm.
and put it on the salad, but I'll also maybe put some lentils with it too, or hemp hearts. Love hemp hearts. I love
Love
that.
hemp
It's one of my
hearts.
favorites to
What are
spread with
hemp
them.
hearts, Jen? People ask me all the time, right? I've never heard of hemp hearts. What are hemp
Yeah.
hearts?
It,
Right? And
yeah.
they're little seed, they look like little seeds in a
Mhm.
bag. You get them with all the rest of the seeds, but and I always tell people like it's low calorie, like you're not adding a lot of caloric intake to the salad, but getting tons of protein.
Yeah.
I do about two
Sprinkle it on
tablespoons.
anything, you
What,
know?
how many tablespoons or what's your amount that
I
you
usually
add?
do about a tablespoon, or I'll
Mm.
just eye it about a tablespoon. And I've been using them so much more because I started playing around with even when I steam broccoli, and I'll drizzle a little bit of extra
Oh,
virgin
yeah.
olive oil, but then I'll sprinkle it with hemp hearts. And it was one of my clients who told me about that. And when she told me, I'm like, I'm doing that. And now I haven't stopped. So I learned so much from our
Yeah.
clients. Like they
Yeah.
start playing around, especially if they're creative. And I'm like, tell me more. I want to like implement this
Mm.
myself. So those are great proteins. And what's really good, like just a little pro tip here is you can batch cook some of these so that you have like your grilled chicken already made, or maybe your ground turkey, or maybe maybe you did some steak and you cut it into
Mm.
strips, or you have your lentils made, or whatever it is. I've been encouraging people even like air frying tofu, just putting it in the air fryer. So now you have it sort of done and you can add very quickly, especially because we're busy during the week, right? We're busy
Mm.
people, but it's better if we can choose on the weekend to do a little bit of batch cooking there. All right, so number one was greens and fiber. Number two is protein. What is number three, Emily?
Healthy fats,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Gotta have that fat. Our brain longs for fat. And so adding in the avocado, olive oil, nuts, oh, my husband loves cashews in his salad, raw nuts. Try not to get any
Mhm.
roasted or any added oils in your nuts. Make sure they're raw. And then don't forget about your seeds. Chia seeds, flax seeds, right? They're omega-3, omega-6s.
Mhm.
So that's really good to add into your salad. Plus, they have ALA in them, decrease your glucose spike if you're adding any honey to your salad dressing, or if you're having that carb after. But that ALA definitely helps with decreasing that glucose spike. Tahini dressing, if you like tahini dressing. And then another thing I'm adding is sunflower seeds and black sesame seeds for my
Mm.
hair growth.
Oh, nice.
So
I
I'm
like
having
that.
sunflower seeds is good for B6, lowering our homocysteine levels or inflammatory markers. And then black sesame seeds are a fun
Yeah.
thing.
I'm glad you brought up the homocysteine levels because we're seeing it a lot in the lab work that we're looking at. As health coaches, we can look at the lab work, of course, through a health coaching lens, so we can help you make nutritional changes, right? And
Mhm.
one thing that happened for me years ago is my homocysteine level was high, and I started doing some of these things that Emily is talking about. I haven't had issues in several years now with that, but mine was high 2 years ago. So I have to share my favorite dressing because I get asked about this for years now. It was about 10 years ago I created this recipe and I love it. I don't know, maybe you will. So if you're listening, you have to like tell me if you like this. I'd love for you to message me. But it's equal proportions of extra virgin olive oil and apple cider vinegar. So if you're going to do a cup of each, fine, half a cup of each, whatever it is, right? And then you're going to do about a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And then I'll do some Himalayan salt and some pepper to taste, whatever you like to add. And then I do use my essential oils. So now I use doTERRA so I can
Mm.
use make sure if you're using an essential oil, it actually says that you can ingest it on the back of the label. Don't just, some brands do, some brands don't. So I'll put 10 drops of lemon essential oil and 3 drops of oregano. And the
Oh,
oregano is really great for keeping your immune system healthy. But this combination, the 50-50 of like just equal proportions of apple cider vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, the lemon essential oil, the oregano, and then salt and pepper and Dijon. It's so good. People will message me over and over again, like, what was your recipe again? I need to remake it. So,
yeah.
so just want to share that with you. So now we've got the healthy fats. What about number four? What's the number four here?
Carbs. We don't have
Carbs.
to
I
forget
thought we
about
weren't supposed
carbs.
to eat carbs, Emily.
We can definitely have carbs,
Yes.
right? We want complex carbs. Oh, I love roasted sweet potatoes in my salad. Quinoa. You can throw some corn in, some beans, even some berry. Oh, apples.
Mhm.
Apples during the summertime. Just think about what are those carbs? Complex carbs, right? Think about what can I add to my salad to spice it up a little bit and then you mentioned the apple cider vinegar in your salad dressing
Mhm.
and the chia seed, right? We are having things in our salad that help decrease that glucose spike. So it's a perfect time to introduce a carb because we are also including some of the apple cider vinegar, those things that blunt that glucose spike. So why not add those carbs that are full of nutrients, full of vitamins that your body longs for without wreaking havoc on your body composition if you're trying to lose weight.
Yes, I love that. Sweet potato roasted is one of my
Mm,
favorites too.
me too.
All right, what's number five?
All right. So don't skip the dressing, of course. The flavor, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that you mentioned your dressing that you do, but the spices, right? We are talking about optimizing a meal. We are busy people. We have pre-made this beautiful salad, and then during the week, we're going to just scoop it out, put it in our bowl, add our fresh stuff that we don't want making the salad soggy, and then we're going to add that salad dressing. But then don't forget about the spices.
Hmm.
Spices are powerful. They, and you could probably speak even better to this because it matches like with the synergistically with herbs, right? The spices are activating at a cellular level our body's hormones and what our mitochondria wants to do. So adding turmeric, fresh oregano, dill, basil, all of those spices are powerful. Black pepper with the turmeric, and it can go a long way adding the flavor to a salad without adding too much salad dressing, especially if you're just
Yes.
going to do
I'm glad
ranch or
you
store-bought.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the herbs and spices. And the one other one I want to mention is cayenne. So cayenne was one of the
Mm.
herbs I studied when I went for my master's in herbology, and it just helps with increasing circulation. And when you do that, you're helping your whole body. So even just a little bit, if you don't like too much of a spice, just a tiny little bit on your salad or maybe in the dressing could be a good way to incorporate that. Awesome. So now you've got our 5-part formula that you can put into practice right away. But what's some salad building hacks? Because
Mm.
we mentioned about batch cooking some of the protein, but what else?
Yeah. So I love the mason jars, right? People are
Yep.
putting little salads in mason jars and making them layered and really pretty. So that's really fun. Or just cleaning out your fridge, like thinking about what's going to go bad in my fridge and how can I be creative with even I think we mentioned sun-dried tomatoes. You have the can of sun or the glass container of sun-dried tomatoes or pickles. Like thinking about creatively, how can I spice up my salad without feeling like you have to go to the grocery store every day to get something fresh? There are creative ways to grab things from your fridge to clean up and adding and putting in your salad.
Yes.
Um,
I love that you mentioned that fridge cleanup because we
yeah.
pretty much all of us have something. If we just looked with salad eyes, looking there thinking salad,
Mhm.
you probably have several things you can pull out and actually put on it. So I wanted to give you a little bit of tropical crunch ideas because sometimes you want some crunch. And macadamia nuts are great. And you don't need to put them on whole because sometimes that could be a lot, but maybe like cut them up a little bit and just have them in smaller pieces or whole, whatever you'd like to do there. Seeds for sure, any kind of sunflower seeds, any of the hemp seeds, any of that would be really good. And then don't forget unsweetened coconut flakes are actually good. So that makes a little bit of a just a nice natural sweetness. And we often will go to like blueberries or strawberries or apple. We forget about the coconut flakes. Great
Mhm.
option. And then tropical again, I immediately think of pineapple or mango. Just be careful not too much fruit, but we do want to incorporate fruit into our diet as well. So anything else before we wrap up our time?
Yes, I keep forgetting to remind myself to do pumpkin seeds.
Oh,
Pumpkin
yes.
seeds are powerful. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, and like incorporate pumpkin seeds into your salads.
Yeah,
So that's
especially for
always,
men too. Pumpkin seeds are really good for male health. So all right, you have your challenge now. All right. Build your ultimate salad this week. Just get prepared, have a few things on hand, snap some pictures, send them to us, or tag us in your social media posts. If you like this episode, please subscribe and share it with somebody, just a friend that you feel like might want to hear this. And until next time, go out and be present for today because today is what we can do something about. Thank you. Bye.